Hello and welcome to Monday Mindfulness. I was really tempted to share more of a moving, active, dynamic mindfulness practice this morning, and I was very close to sharing that, and we'll likely do that next week. I love to get more and more active coming into spring and summer, so that's on the horizon. But I wanted to just slow down for a second and look at some of the details that can get a little bit lost when we start moving and get things happening really quickly and dynamically. So the things that I'm feeling right now to most focus on is the dynamic of uh, the tension and flow in the body. I had a great yoga session here in Cluj. It was Simple Secrets of Yoga with Steve Israel and a friend of his from Canada called Greg, and it really inspired me to uncover a bit of this dynamic of the tension and flow, and that can be a really interesting one to set as a reminder, like to have reminders through the day that say, oh, what kind of tension and flow am I holding right now? And how is that affecting my actions, and how is it being held in the body? So it's fairly straightforward, the practice that we'll do, and we'll just do a bit of exploring of that dynamic. But also, if you're seeing any other dynamics come up in your life that you find it interesting to sit with, or you'd like some tips on ways to sit with that, or just to use mindfulness in relation to that, please send us a message, let us know, and I'd be more than happy to share something. However useful that'll be is totally in the feedback that we get. But we'll see how it goes. But what I'd like to share today is a little meditation on tension and flow. So even while I'm talking and with different facial expressions, I'm noticing here right now, like if I bring my eyebrows like this, they tense there, and there's tension there. It's not a good or a bad thing. Just like anything in mindfulness, it's not about labeling or judging these things. It's just about experiencing them and noticing some details. So what's happening there is, like even in my eyebrows, there's tension as I speak. Everything, every movement requires tension and flow and a balance of that. Like the old adage goes, a guitar string that's too loose doesn't play. It doesn't make sound. A guitar string that's too tight breaks. And when it's just right, you've got a symphony. It's beautiful. So that's it's kind of going to the whole middle way pathway, but it's also nice to be able to just observe these things and notice whether we want to choose to hold tension in a certain place and where that's coming from, and also how it is to go into a dynamic of flow and surrender as well. I find a balance is great. I personally am finding it more comfortable to spend more and more time in surrender and choosing the times when I want to either hold tension or take action. So yeah, and that's often guided by the heart, and that's a whole other conversation. So what we'll do is we'll get into this meditation. So if you've got any stretches or anything that you feel you need, my neck needs a bit of movement right now. Just getting ourselves comfortable in our seat so that we can really tune into what's happening in our body. And just close your eyes down. Take a few deep breaths. And just bring your awareness to any areas of the body where there's tension being held. Just witness that. Notice the details of that tension. Does it have different points? Does it have a beginning and an end? If you want to, you can breathe into it and relax as you breathe out, or you can just witness it. Noticing what's happening in your experience. Opening to all the details of what you're feeling. And just seeing if there's any areas where you feel like you're still holding tension. And noticing if in an area of tension, if there's any emotion there, if there's any emotion around that point. Noticing if there's any attachment to holding on there, any resistance to the flow. Just noticing. Notice if there's any flavors of this tension, all of those dynamics, the emotion, the attempting to hold on, noticing where that tension's coming from. Is it trying to achieve something? Just breathing and staying with what you feel. Letting the experience show you all its details. Now noticing if there's any other areas that are holding tension. Tuning into them as well. Feeling that tension, any emotions around it, and any holding on or resistance. Just allowing it all to be what it is. And now noticing what relaxation feels like. Is there any parts of the body that feel like they're really open to the flow? Just letting yourself sit with whatever you feel, allowing each moment to come and go, noticing the dynamics of tension and or flow. And are there any areas that feel particularly fluid? Are there any areas that feel like they want to flow? And are there any emotions around that? Notice how that whole dynamic feels in the body. Notice where that passion comes from, if it has a source. Notice where that passion is guiding you, if it has a source. And if it's just random flow, random relaxation, that's perfect too. Just feel it. And now, just from a neutral place, just witnessing the whole body as it is now, drinking in all the sensations from every sense, every part of the body. And now, as we come back to the room, coming back to our day, see how it feels to stay aware of this dynamic of tension and flow. Just noticing these different things appearing in the body and what they're showing you. And then from there, we have a choice as to whether we keep holding some of these things. And some things are a bit tricky. as far as the choice goes, but at least we've got a better idea and a better scope of exactly what we're feeling, and we're not unconsciously having an experience. We're actually consciously either holding tension or flowing, and not that either one of them is right or wrong. So enjoy the tension and or flow of your day. If you have any feedback, please leave us a message, and thank you so much for joining us. Ciao.